Hey guys, we're on Australian Survivor, episode 4 of season 9. It was very interesting. Last we left off, we had Katie getting voted off. Uh, Initially, it was going to be they were going to split the votes between David and Katie. And there's a possibility that David would have been safe, but then he threw Sam under the bus, and Sam was an ally of his, trying to keep him off the block and pretty much keep him safe by changing the votes. But what she didn't do was talk to him and let him know what was going on, that his name was being brought up and she was trying to save him. She didn't do that, but she still tried to save him. But in his perspective, it was just basically people talking, having conversations outside of him, and he wasn't a part of it. And he saw her. So the first thing he did when they got to tribal, he was a little nervous. He said, well, see a lot of plans going on that I'm not privy to. And Sam is a social butterfly. And because he did that, they saw it as him throwing Sam under the bus. And they only knew that because Sam was trying to save him. If she wasn't, I mean, he would be on the money. But because Sam was trying to save him, they saw it that way, and he kind of shot himself in the foot. She got all the votes changed to vote him out, while she voted for Sandra to keep herself safe just in case. And three other people, there was two other people who were going to split their votes to Katie. And so those two voted for Katie, and David also voted for Katie. So it was three on Katie, one on Sandra, and all the rest of them was on David. And David played his idol, which was part of a two-part idol that would become a super idol that would allow him to play it after the votes are read to save himself or save the other person, which was Khan, that has the other half of the idol. But since he played it, now it just is just a one-part idol, and it just works as a immunity idol. So he saved himself. And Katie went home, come now to this episode, and he's pretty much ostracized from the tribe. No one trusts him. The allies that he did have now kind of against him. And Sam, interestingly enough, was really wanting to get him out because what he said about her game was in fact true. And she didn't want that. She didn't want other people to see her like that. So she pretty much wanted to throw shade at David and try to get him out. So she was talking to everyone about getting David out. And an interesting thing happened at Travel. Sophie, interestingly enough, she got mad at what David did to Sam, and she was adamantly about getting him out, showing her alliance, because she was close with Sophie at that time, showing her alliance to Sophie by trying to get him out. And now they come now, and they're pretty much planning, and she's leading it for the next vote. She wants to get rid of David. She's like hugging Sam, and they're all kumbaya about getting David out because they're both adamant about getting him out. But Sandra had a game plan. Her game plan was to ally herself with all the big guys, all the alpha males, ally herself with them to keep herself safe, and because there will always be a shield for her. But even though it seemed like she had it, she sort of had that game plan in the bag when she was trying to get rid of David, because all the alpha males kind of came to her and was talking to her and wanted to work with her. Even though she seemed like she had that game plan in the bag, when they come back after the tribal, she noticed that it was actually Sophie that has that control that she wanted. So now she's trying to orchestrate a way to get rid of Sophie and leave David alone, because David has no one on his side. And David, in the meantime, trying to make amends with people. He's not searching for idols. He's nervous. He's frantic like he was, and just like his daughter was, but he's not searching for idols, which probably worked in his favor, I guess. But I would be searching for an idol. I mean, there hasn't been an idol found in the Red Tribe's base at all. So there's probably one there. There's been two found at the Blue Tribe, none at the Red. So I'm just saying. They're not doing anything. They're just too kumbaya. Even Sandra said the same thing. They're just very kumbaya and just making friends and doing all this stuff, and everybody's happy and smiling. They're not really playing the game. All right, so see, we get to the reward challenge. Just skip a lot of the conversations because they spend a lot of time just talking about nothing, just making friends with each other. All right. Get a good snapshot of it. Hold on. All right, there we go. Perfect. All right. This is the reward challenge. Put myself in there. This is a reward challenge. What they have to do, there will be two players, one on this side, one on the other side, and they're going to race to get to each other's side and ring a bell that's over there. So they can either be the fastest one to get there, or pretty much tackle the other player and just move them to that side and then get there first. So there's a rope right down here. There's a rope right down here, just leading up to that, to the bell. So if they can get far enough, even if the other player is tackling them, if they can grab the rope that's just very close to the pond, then they're pretty much safe and they can walk up there and ring the bell. All right, so that's the reward challenge. All right, the prize for the reward challenge is they get a meal, and they also get to choose someone from the other team to join them during that meal. So pretty much they get to grill that person for information if they want to. All right, so the meal is, I think it's like croissants, jelly, butter, like just, you know, that kind of stuff, just like breakfast stuff. I think they also had pizza, if I remember correctly. All right, it's a lot of wrestling. You can see right here. The first challenge was actually the two bigger guys, and that's Mark and Croc. And Mark, I think it's because he's heavier, but Croc looks more muscular, but I believe Mark is heavier than him. And Mark was able to pretty much just push him all the way back to his side and grab the rope and crawl up there and win. All right. All right. In the end, I believe, I can't remember which team. I think it was the blue team that, no, it was the red team that won. And they chose Shay to join them on the reward. All right. Oh, there we go. All right. That's Shay. And right here, she's got chosen, and I believe that's her boyfriend. Can't remember his name. I think it's Ben. I'm not sure. All right, so they go to the reward challenge. Everyone's enjoying their meal. They basically just grilled her about questions about how their loved one is doing on the other side. They didn't really do much game stuff, which was kind of ridiculous. Oh, it wasn't pizza. Someone just put butter and jelly on on a croissant, and it kind of looked like pizza to me. So yeah, they're just not playing the game much, and it's very frustrating to me. All right. The team, and I believe Sam, her husband, I think it's confirmed now. She confirmed her husband is Mark. She didn't want to choose him for that reward challenge. She didn't really put his name out there because she didn't want to take him away from his tribe, and which would kind of cost him a lot in social interactions, and people could start talking behind his back, which would possibly cost him the game. And since he's her husband, she's she's going to see him regardless. She wants both of them to do well, so she didn't really choose him. Right, and I think another thing that was very interesting was on the blue team. Khan pretty much have the whole camp in his hands, right? Everyone is on his side, and they want to work with him because he's very social. He had an alliance with all the big guys. He's working with them very closely. All the women are also on his side because he's very social with them. And he also had a secret thing going on with Mark on the side where they don't have to talk much, but they know that they're working together and they just give each other information. But then we come to this, and Mark now is just watching everyone, and he's watching how much control that Khan has over the tribe, and he feels threatened by that. And now he wants to get rid of Khan. Now he's talking to other people that also wants to get rid of Khan. So his idea was to flush Khan's idol. He told them that he already agreed to have an alliance with Khan. He told them the only reason he's doing that is because if there's a merge, he still has a connection on the other side. If there's a merge or a tribe swap, he still has that connection with Khan on the other side, just in case. He's sort of trying to play it off like he wasn't really in an alliance. He was just doing that to sort of keep him on side. And his idea is to split the votes, tell Khan that people are trying to vote him out so that they flush his idol and they vote out whoever they want to vote out. And then next time they can get rid of him. Which is an interesting strategy. I guess I can see why he would do that, because any plan that they come up with to get rid of Khan would probably get back to Khan, because he has such good relationships with so many people. It only takes one person to tell him what's going on, and he can save himself. All right. Now we come to the immunity challenge. All right. An immunity challenge look like this here. All right, so what they have to do is first they have to pull this platform right here. They all have to pull the rope and pull the platform all the way to the top. And I believe the first ones to complete the this portion was the blue team. The blue team completed that portion first. All right, and the next part is, I think they have to, below here, there's a little raft right here that they then have to carry. After they move that, they then have to carry this raft onto this little waterway here. And I believe everyone except 4 people get in the raft, and those 4 people hold a string on the side of the raft and pull the raft all the way through the water. All right. Oops. Okay. All right, there we go. Perfect. All right, after they get out of the water, then they would come out into the ocean right here. Everyone get on the raft and they take their paddles. They paddle below this platform right here. And then over here, they collect their puzzle pieces, load it out into the raft, and then row all the way back to the shore. There we go. All right, you can see them here coming back through the waterway with all their puzzle pieces on the raft. You can see the blue team is all the way ahead. So they started out with a good lead, and I think it sort of evened out when they get out of the water. I think when they got out of the water, the red team was ahead, But when they got to the puzzle pieces and all the way back here, the blue team was ahead once again. All right. All right. And the puzzle looks like this. All right. They have a platform on both sides. And the platforms, they start with these little parts of the archway here. And they have to use the puzzle pieces to build a freestanding archway that spelled out the name of their tribe. So it's going to be the water tribe. And they have to fit all the pieces there so that it all stands on its own. But right now, without all the pieces in place, it's going to pretty much fall. So people have to hold it up. All right. And obviously, as you can see from there, the blue team is going to win. The red team wasn't far behind, but what they did was they misspelled their word, which was blood. What they did was, I think they spelled bold or something like that. It was like B-O and then the L. It was it was ridiculous, and they had to like restart the whole thing. So the blue team was able to win. All right. So now you got the blue team going to tribal, and that's when Sandra put her plan in place. She talked to a couple of people. This was basically her argument. She was like, Sophie has those big guys. It was like 3 big dudes on the red tribe, and Sophie, and Tandra is saying she has those big dudes pretty much under her command because when they were in the water, she just pretty much told Sandra, we're voting for David. So she was telling Sandra what to do, which is, if you've ever seen Sandra play Survivor, she hates when people do that. So she goes to other people. I think it was like one of the twins, was like Mel or Michelle, one of the twins. I don't know which one is which, to be honest with you. She went to one of them and said, Sophie's pretty much just telling me how to vote, and she has all these 3 guys wrapped around her finger. And I don't like that. And she's like, we have to get rid of her because she has so much power in this game. And the twin was like, yeah, I can see that she's very social, and she has so many people under her command. If we don't get rid of her now, she can probably run away with this game because they're going to vote them off one by one. So if she has those 3 big guys that are probably going to be winning challenges, and her, as soon as when the numbers start going down, she's going to have most of the power, and they're not going to get rid of her. Those 3 guys are going to get rid of each other before they get rid of her. So she would be in a very good spot. She talked to one of the twins, and I think she talked to Amy, which is Khan's sister. She talks to Amy, and Amy agreed. And then Amy decided to go and talk to a bunch of other people to sort of spread the word. I think the first one she went to was Jay. I don't know who he's related to on the other side. I think he's one of the cousins. Yeah, but she talks to Jay, and I think Jay then talks to David, and then it came down to Jesse and Sam was the only ones left out of the loop, because I think the 4, the 3 big guys and Sophie were left out of the loop. So the other 7 on the tribe pretty much were part of what's going on, part of the secret decision to get rid of Sophie. And it came down to Jesse and Sam was the flip vote. And Sam was still trying to flip it and still trying to say, because she's playing buddy with everyone, very social, she didn't want to go against the numbers. So she was trying to convince Jesse to vote with her. And she was trying to say, we can't really trust David. He's kind of chaotic right now. But Jesse was adamant, and he was like, well, David is kind of by himself, but Sophie, she has a lot of power in this game. And if we don't get rid of her now, when are we going to be able to do it? So eventually she kind of like nodded her head. And I still thought she was gonna like reveal the whole thing to Sophie, and I didn't know what was gonna happen. So they go to tribal. They didn't really show what happened with those conversations, just the beginning of those conversations. So we go to tribal. All right, and in tribal, what they did was the winning tribe, which was the blue tribe, they got to sit in and see and watch watch the blue team's tribal. All right, so show you a little pic of it right here. All right, as you can see, have the blue team over here watching the red team tribal. We have Jesse over here. That's Sophie right here. These are the three big guys. You can see they're all sitting together. That's Croc. I think that's Ben. And this guy, I can't remember his name, but I can't remember his name, but he's one of the cousins. I think the other cousin is Josh. Josh, that guy right here. I think that's his name. And this is David. That's Jay, I believe. But I don't know who he's related to on the other side, to be honest with you. I thought he was one of the cousins, but now I'm thinking about it. The cousins is that guy and Josh. So who the hell is he related to? No. And that's Amy, Khan's sister. I think that's Khan over here. And who's this guy? I don't know. All right, so that's everyone. All right, that's everyone. And you can see David is a little down, but he didn't blow up in this tribal. All right, and they got to they got to deliberating, and everyone is talking, and they pretty much talking about how David blew up last tribal and how he used his idol and he saved himself. And none of the conversation aimed anywhere else but David. They get to the vote, and it's 4 in a row, all for David. So David's like, ah, oh, God damn it. Then you get to the 5th one and Sophie, and just Sophie for the rest, for the rest of the votes. And Sophie gets voted out. Everyone is surprised. It's time to snuff her torch. And then he says, actually, you're out of your tribe, but you're not out of the game. And he says she's going to the other tribe. So they tribe swapped her instead of voting her out. And the rest of her team is just shitting bricks right now because she's not out of the game. Now she's on the same tribe with her sister, which doesn't make her safe, because now you got 2 family members on the same tribe, probably gonna vote her out. I'm just saying, it doesn't make her safe. I wouldn't be worried about it, but they're pretty worried in case, you know, now they have an enemy that's still in the game and she could be working with the other tribe, and that could build up more numbers on their side if there's ever a tribe swap or the tribes merge. That could be a problem later in the game. So I understand. Anyways, it was a fun episode. There was a lot of talking in the middle, but ultimately it was good gameplay. I mean, I think it's mainly because Sandra, she always executes a blind side, and it was well done, and she sort of encouraged this one. Otherwise, David was gone. It was over for him. So it was good gameplay. That's the thing I can say about Sandra. She's very smart, and she knows how to use people and manipulate people. I just hate the fact that she's so trash at challenges. It irks me. I don't like that. Why would you play a game that requires a physical component, but then neglect the physical component? You don't even have to be great at it. Just be decent. It's not hard. Just get in shape. There's money on the line. But, you know, it is what it is. Till next time.